Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Stephanie Oki and I am the chief soaper at Creamy Suds. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how I make this soap using two designs. So first I start off with measuring out my cocoa butter and my lard. After I measure these two oils, I melt them down as you can see here, and then I use that to melt down my shea butter, and you can see I'm chopping up the shea butter in little bits just so it's easier to melt down. Then I'll stir it in until it melts. I'll repeat the process again for coconut oil, which is what I'm doing here. I'm going stirring the coconut oil until that melts as well. The reason I'm doing this is because I need to soap at cooler temperatures since I'm going to be doing some intricate designs, and so that's the reason I'm melting down the oils in the hotter oils, just to cool the entire temperature down. Afterwards, I go on to add my liquid oils, and here I'm just adding some olive oil, and I'm still gonna add some castor oil to the mix. After I'm done adding the liquid oils, I then go ahead to measure my fragrance oil into my oils ahead of time. Next, I add my lye water that I had already done ahead of time as well, just so that it would cool down. And to my lye water, I also add some citric acid at 1.5%. Next, I'm just stirring until it reaches an emulsion, and how I know it has reached an emulsion is you can see here that the oil is still a little bit transparent, and when it gets to an emulsion it becomes more cloudy. It's harder to see through it and you're not gonna see streaks of oil floating on top. So you can see here I keep stopping to just check it and stirring more and more. And I decided not to use a stick blender because we already know the stick blender is literally the killer of of trace. It makes everything just go so fast. And you know, from my experience with my Too Fast themed soap, if you haven't seen that, please check it out. I decided that whenever I want to do designs, I'm really just not going to use a stick blender. However, in this soap I did use a stick blender at some point because I also had a confetti bit to my soap, because there were two designs in one soap. So now I'm just going to just stir it a little further and then measure out half of the soap into 4 different cups. And so here I've measured half of everything and then divided that half by 4, and that's how I could determine how much goes into each color. And I'm using an orange, a kind of brick red or brick brown, brick color, and then a deeper brown and a black. And so here you could just see I'm just pouring out what I already had measured, and I think it was about 80 grams of soap butter into each cup. And what we have in the container there is the other half, and to the other half I'm just going to go ahead and add some charcoal. Then I will stick blend because I wanted this half of my soap to trace faster, since it's going to be my confetti bit and the bottom part of the soap. Next, I'm just adding some shredded soap shavings from a previous batch, and just stirring that in, and then I'm going to go ahead and pour that in my mold. You can see here, the essence of the stick blender is really just to let it set up quickly so that my next layer can kind of settle on top and give it that design on top, because I wanted two designs. It was what I wanted for this soap. Next, I've just lined up my soap colors, and I'm just stirring them in. They had already been pre-dispersed in some olive oil at I think I used 1 teaspoon per pound of oil, and then used 3 teaspoons of olive oil to disperse them. And so now I'm just stirring it in, and you can see I've just arranged the colors. Next, I'm going to take a container, and then you see here I'm pouring it in from the side. I'm going to be using a technique known as the ring pour technique. However, I still kind of switch things up a little bit. So for contrast here, I was going to put the deep brown, but then I changed my mind and put the black color. I noticed that the orange color at the bottom was such a great idea, because it then came out on top. So whatever color you kind of want to be on top should be at the bottom. So here you can see I'm just going round in circles. So it's a ring pour I was trying to do, and I saw this. I got inspired by some acrylic painting that I had seen on YouTube, and this was the technique I was using. However, I didn't quite know when to stop and I kept going over and over and over it, because it was acrylic paint and it wasn't so bright. So I somehow just ended up doing my own thing. And at this point, you see, with this design you cannot scrape your container, right? But I was still there trying to pour in as much soap as possible, and I just kind of didn't like the way it turned out, so I decided to do some swirls. And so I swirled downwards and ended up getting this peacock looking swirl, and I kind of liked it. And as I looked at it, I thought to myself, this looks like fire. And you see, I don't know about other people, but I tend to name my soaps after I make them, not before I make them. So I don't, and I have ideas for what I want, but then I wait for the soap to be done before I give them names. And so it looked like fire to me in the middle of the night or something, and so I actually thought maybe I should name this Midnight Fire. But by the time I was done cutting these soaps, that's when I changed the name to Firestone. So this is the soap the next day. It only took 24 hours, and I unmolded it, and you can see here that comes at the bottom. It was just such a brilliant idea. It just looked like stones underneath it and just fire on top of it, and of course that's where the name Firestone comes from. It is just amazing. I absolutely just love this. So now we're going to go ahead and cut my soaps, and you can see what I do is I tend to just measure. I'm cutting horizontally, and so all I had to do was just measure one side. It's just a really small batch of soap, and there was just not much to do there. So I just measured out how much I wanted and went ahead with the cutting. So I'll just let you guys watch the cutting of this soap, and I'll come back to you guys in a bit. And just a question for you guys, just to know if I'm the only one who goes through this. Am I the only one who struggles with these potato peelers? I do have a soap, what's it called, a beveler, but for some reason I just wanted to use the potato peeler, but I always struggle with these peelers, and I didn't really like how I peeled these soaps, but well, I had already done them, so hey. Yeah, so just let me know in the comment section below if I'm the only one who struggles with these peelers, because they are just such a nightmare. So as I finish up this soap, I'm just thinking how amazing the soap turned out. It really did. It actually exceeded my expectations, if I'm honest. It really went beyond what I had imagined, and it just made me so happy. So because it's just amazing, the design on top, the fire looking thing on top, and then the bottom part. You see, usually when we make confetti soaps, it's because we're trying to be zero waste, but I find that there's not too many great ideas with confetti. So this, for me, is just an idea that I feel like lots of people can learn from. When you're making a confetti soap, you can actually, you know, incorporate a design to make it two different designs and just give it some extra touch. It doesn't just have to be a boring old confetti soap, because I really did get bored with confetti soaps, and you know, I just really love this. If you're gonna try it out, just let me know. I would love to see what, you know, you guys would create. You could do other patterns. There's a kiss pour technique. You could do the kiss pour technique on top as well. So there's so many things that you can do with confetti, and it's just amazing to really, soap is just a beautiful, you know, piece of art really that I love. And yeah, so guys, thank you guys for watching. If you've watched to this point and you have not hit the subscribe button, what are you waiting for, guys? Please subscribe. It really helps me grow, and I will just really appreciate it. Trust me, I'm going to just stand up and jump each time I see a subscriber. So just know that when you subscribe, I'm going to be dancing here. So yeah, please subscribe, guys. I really will appreciate it. And that is it. I'm just going to show you guys one last time what they look like. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. The fragrance oil did change the color a little bit, so it's not as popping as it is here, but it's just still as beautiful. And thanks for watching, guys, and see you guys next time in my next video. Have a great day. Bye.